Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another D-standard deck profile, and this time I'll be covering the upgraded Unica deck profile. Uh, like this deck, I really have been like having some good times with it, having some bad time with it, but most of the time I'm having a bad time with the deck. But it's not that the skills of the units are being bad, but it just too rely on luck. So I did upgrade this with new cards, and I tried some new cards as well. Some of them I find them useful, some of them I just find them not useful. So some I took them out, some I kept them in, and then try different things. And this is where I am at right now. Uh, but don't take it as like a deck that you can just copy this and then go into a uh, tournament and hopefully win our games. To me, I don't think it can happen, unfortunately, unless you are confirmed your luck stack is very high. To me, I'm not, so I don't suggest you to just consider it as a meta deck and take it out to play like big tournaments and expect yourself to win. But if you want to test your luck, or maybe you just want to have fun with this deck, you can do it. That's how I am going to see how this deck runs. So for the right line, I'm still using the Unica right line so that I can get extra 2 units. I get to buy extra triggers if I want to. I get to keep soul charging back triggers if I need to, because with the changes to this deck, I don't have any like a lot of extra random soul charging cards. So without those, means I need to kind of rely on what's in my hand, what's on the board, what is in the drop zone. And that's why the deck is kind of not quite helping out. Because in order for the base Unica to work, you need to see critical triggers. It's not any triggers, it's critical triggers. For example, Sparta, when you soul charge 2, if you don't soul charge a crit, you get nothing. You only get to draw a card when you soul charge a crit, and it's not happening. To me, so far, I have played more than 20 to 30 games. I only did it once. So you can see the rate is that low. So don't expect yourself to draw a card from here. Here you get to pull them out, which is great, because this deck you don't have a lot of hands anyway. So something that at least help you to survive for a time without using a lot of resources, I think is great. This is also the same with the Kata guy that also pull units off. I think that is also a good thing with the right lines being out that kind of moments. So these are still great. For Unica, I completely changed the playstyle. At first, when the mask unit comes out, I was like, I probably don't need the mask unit that much, and I can just focus on Unica. But after like a few sets of supports coming in, I actually like to use the mask unit a lot more than the original Unica. Because something about that, with the mask unit, you might not be soul blasting any single critical triggers, but you get your effects off, right? But when you're on this Unica, if until the end of the whole game, you finally see your first critical trigger, and it's after you soul blasting, you can see how frustrating it can be. It really happened to me. Because when I play this deck, I go into the mask unit, I take to 5 damage, I even do my personal right turn, and I haven't seen a single critical trigger. So if you're on the old Unica, that means the second part of your skill to burst crit, gain drive, pop units, nothing will happen. Nothing. If you lucky to see other triggers and put them in, then you can still buff the units, but what's the point, right? But unfortunately, that's how the deck is, and since we can only play 8 crit max, that's something that we have to deal with. So instead of focusing on the normal Unica, I actually play the Master Unit a lot more, and by doing that, I feel kind of less depression with this deck, and at least I get to do something that I am trying to win the games actually. Alright, so next, show you the orders first. I'm running free mask order because I think that is very important here, that you get into the mask unit, and this actually helps you to search the mask unit, which is again very important for you to go on. So I'm running free. 4 is probably too much. I even did try to like ditch it for using the right deck, but I have to say I regret that. I'd rather keep it in hand. When I go into Migratory Unica, I use the order and try to search something, because having a chance to squeeze one card out of your deck by looking at the top 5 is very important for you to actually meet your critical triggers a lot more faster. That what I would put it this way. So I rather actually keep them into my hand, unless I really have like all 3 into my hand, then I might just ditch one. That's fine. But if that's only 1 copy in my hand, I would just keep it. And then this is an order that I haven't been using at all, which is Almajestar. So this is a grade 3 order for Astroea. Astroea. In this card name, so you can only play it when your Vanguard is Unica, whether it's Mask or the normal one. What you get with this order is you can counter charge 1, and then choose 3 trigger units from your drop and put them into your zone, so it helps you recycle if you actually see a lot of triggers. And then if your card with Astroea in its card name was removed this turn, choose one of your Vanguard and it gets critical +1 until end of turn. So if your Mask unit actually remove from play one of the original Unica, then you also get a crit, which covers the Mask unit for not having any skills to gain crit compared to the original Unica. So I think that's great, and it also gives you a counter charge. So when you are like running out of resources, then at least this order allows you to make the skill happen, because with the Mask unit you actually need to counter +1 and soul +1 for the skill. So to me, I think that's very important. And I was originally playing 3 Mask units, and then when my focus is completely changed to playing the Mask unit, I get it to 4, because one point out about Unica that I talked it, and I'll also show you that I have 2 more extra copies right here, that I always can't guarantee I see any single crit. Maybe my luck is just that bad, but I need to always think about the worst. Of course, if you crit sync turn 1, crit turn 2, double crit turn 3, or maybe you already have another crit to ditch, so that when your first turn you're already binding 3 crits and doing all the plays, and that's a different thing. But no one is always that lucky, and we always need to think about, if we don't see anything, what can we do, right? So for example, again, that I keep saying, when you don't see a single crit throughout your whole game, the original Unica is not going to help you at all. But with the Mask unit, as long as you have a normal Unica to remove from play, you get triple drive, right? It's not exactly triple drive, but drive +1, but let's put it that way. And then you can use this order to gain a crit, so you already at least is doing +1 crit and 3 drives, right? Except the pop, which when you are actually removing a Unica, you also get the pop. So by removing a Unica and playing the order, you're already achieving what Unica does when 3 critical triggers is bind. And you don't need a single critical trigger to appear. So just by having that, I think it really just makes you feel a lot better because you are actually doing stuff even when you don't see a single critical trigger. And then also when your Vanguard attacks, right, you count last one, so last one, and then you can bind all the critical triggers if there's any from the Soul Blast. But it doesn't matter if you can't bind a single thing. You choose a Riga to restand, and then if you have like certain critical triggers for each 2 of them, you get to plus 5k for this and that unit that you stand, right? But again, if you get 0 critical triggers at all, by playing this, by playing the order, by removing the Unica, you get the Unica's effect and doing 4 attacks. That's, to me, like, before you see your critical triggers, you're already doing some stuff, and those are already being scary, and because you keep not seeing any critical triggers, your opponents will start to be afraid. Because if they just take it too easily, suddenly you just triple drive and you just crit, that could even end games, right? That's why I like this way a lot more than the previous version, which I did 4 of the old Unica and then 3 of the Master unit. Mainly because I have been facing too many bad lucks that I actually need to change my mindset to actually playing this. And at first, I have to say, when I see the Master unit, I was like, it's completely different playstyle, and we are trying to win game very fast with the normal Unica. As long as we see 3 crit, we'll win. But it really doesn't happen at all. So I think the shift of the mindset is very important, and it actually helps me out. So this deck is mainly focused on the Master unit, make sure of that. But of course, if you are trying to play like getting 3 crits early game, you can still do that. But as a main play, I'm planning for the worst. Even when I see 0 critical triggers for the whole game, I can still do everything, basically. Yeah, so that's basically the idea, and it's actually working out. Now next, I'm running 3 of the Phonograph Opera Star. So this Opera Star is a new support from DBT13. There's also another one that supports Master unit that allows you to look at top 5 to call something out, but because you kind of need to wait, and it also eating up quite a bit of counter blast, even though her power is quite strong. But I switch spaces for example, this order and something that I think is more important. But this is something that helps you when you also having a bad luck. Her first skill is when this unit on plays to Riga circle, if you're a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Almajestar in his card name, counterblast 1 and draw a card. So you basically get to on place counterblast 1, draw 1, which is very important in this deck. When you just don't have any pieces, having a chance to just counterblast 1 and draw 1 card while this unit stays on the field, not popping herself, that's good. Also, during a turn, it will get plus 5k for every 2 crit in your bind zone. So if you get to bind a lot of crit, then she will still be very, very strong. And then when you restand with your Master unit on her, you also get to buff both units with even more power. And even if you can't, I think it's still kind of okay as long as you can put a Dragon Tree marker on the circle that she's on, that she has at least a 15k, with personal right at least 25k. Number wise, not the perfect one, but I think it's something that is workable. And then a Skull Camera for searching the mask, generating generation marker if you need it, because most of our main front row units are basically just 10k, so the extra 5k actually helps. And then 4 of the Kids Peak Griffin, because you really need to use this card to recycle your triggers in there. It's a very important tech issue that usually just those little 5Ks are going to finish you off. If you have that, at least you can just throw them all out for an extra turn, right? So I'm still running 4. I still find it very important. And then 3 of the Tree Marble Dragon. Being able to have a chance to actually look at the top card of the deck, to me, I think is very important. Since you are soul blasting that much anyway, then why not just check it? If not, just put it into your soul so you can just be ready for the next turn, because you need to basically soul blast 3 every single turn at least. So the more souls you have is better. And if that is not a critical trigger, you don't always want to see them into your hand, right? So have another chance to increase your chances to see triggers, I think is important. And it doesn't have to be crit. As long as you see a triggers, you can just place it on top. Your opponents will just give you the shields. So, or even you can just bait them by putting a normal unit on top. That may still work. And then 2 of the Capricornus. The reason I'm running this is another way to just recycle cards. I've tried a lot of different other things. I still kind of think I need some good resources to soul charge. And with this, I can actually soul charge triggers from my hand into the soul, right? So instead of waiting a turn for that trigger to go into the drop zone and somehow pick it back up, because I need to use the Grade 2 Dyna to actually pick it up, or this, that may not always happen, but at least I get a chance to put the triggers into the soul just by using this unit to boost. So that to me is great, and if I put it from hand, I actually get to draw one. If it's from drop zone, then it's even better, right? So this is still important, very important. I tried to take it out, I regret it, I put it back in. And ending with PGs. I'm just using the normal PGs, not the placeholder, but again, like I always say in other different deck profiles, it's more of a personal choice. If you rather have it in there, do it. Triggers. The Water Elemental, because it allows me to pick something back up from drop zone into my hand, and instead of the normal dark states that I can only put the crit onto my Vanguard, I can actually get to put the crit on something else with the 100 million, so that to me is more important. And then of course, crit, I'm running 8 crit, that is completely without any question. I usually just use the crit to guard, or maybe just put it in with that, so if you don't have the sewing crit, I think that's fine. Draws, I'm running 3. Again, I just don't have the 10k draws because they are a little bit hard to find in Hong Kong and usually not cheap, so I just use the normal one right here for the profile. But if you do have the 10k ones, make sure you use them. And heals. If you really want to use the effect heals, as usual, you can just put 1 to 2 in. But to me, the 15k shield is good enough. So the only thing that I don't have is basically just the 10k draws. So if you can switch that, it will make the deck a lot more easier to guard a lot of things. And then you just need to pray. Hopefully you see any of the critical triggers. Yeah. So I think like how your mindset is with this deck, it actually changes how you play it. To me, I just really have too much bad luck, which I keep saying, because it does really happens, and just sometimes it's just annoying, right? Like when you know what your deck does, but then you can't do it because you don't see a pieces that not actually is a piece. as I would put it that way. For example, if you're playing like Uberg, you can really say it's bad because you didn't draw into the pieces, the combo pieces that can be your attacker, can be a card that you ditch for other combos. Because you don't see those, you are slow for a turn, and you are even just slow for a turn. But with this, if you don't see critical triggers, you are having a big trouble. And like, it is the same as asking you to get 5 defensive triggers or every single trigger in your drive tracks, kind of like that. So it's something that you can't control somehow, except you do have some little chances with the Twin Marvel Dragon, but that's basically it. And do remember, if you don't see a single trigger, there's a lot of soul charging is not going to happen. So if you really worry about those times, then like you might even need to take these out for things like Gungrams, so that you can start doing some random soul charge, or like Rin, like her, that she on plays you can at least look at top 2 and put 1 into the soul. That's something that can also help you out, but hopefully you can just follow this and don't need to go that far. I hope so. Yeah, so do let me know your thoughts about the deck. Do you like kind of having the same luck as me, or maybe you are like extremely good luck that you always see 3 critical triggers very early game and you just win with this deck so easily? Maybe, I don't know, but feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more deck profiles, deck fights, and unboxing videos. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.